Hello everyone. Gary wanted to give me a chance to ask my question regarding post-treatment bias, and Garrett, as presented in King, Toms, and Wittenberg, sort of in person. Okay, Garrett finds that in countries where the left is strong, that is strong leftist parties and trade unions, globalization leads to greater government spending as a percentage of GDP, and the opposite is true where the left and labor are weak. This is against the conventional wisdom that market globalization has forced governments to cut spending. For his dataset, Garrett put together a panel of economic and political variables measured annually for 14 countries over 25 years. Taking a look at his model, he uses a linear normal regression where the unit of analysis is the country year. The dependent variable is government spending as a percentage of GDP. The treatment variable is left labor power. The control variables are trade as a percentage of GDP and capital mobility. Garrett examines low and high levels of these two against high and low of the left variable. He also uses several other variables and some interaction terms such as capital and left, trade and left, and some of the other variables are business cycle, demographic control, and some others. Now, in discussing Garrett's paper, King, Toms, and Wittenberg finds that left labor power has a significant effect only when exposure to trade or capital mobility is high. The paper finds that Garrett's claim that left outspends the right at low levels of market integration is probably attributed to chance and chance alone. However, I think that neither model can actually estimate the effect of left when in power on spending because of bias. Actually, I think there's a presence of bias. Initially, in the way that I had the question on the list, I thought that it was post-treatment bias. Intuitively, I said that Garrett could be correct because richer countries tend to have a more open economy. And also in these countries, the left, when in power, can spend more because there is more, the resources are there. Contrary to the conclusion of King, Toms, and Wittenberg, if I'm correct, left would outspend the right regardless of market openness, regardless of market integration. Although it may appear as a chance possibly when we have low levels of market integration, it is more because countries that they are not rich, like the ones that they don't have these resources, the left cannot spend as much as it wants. So following reading King and Zeng, though, I got the idea that we have the presence of both omitted and post-treatment bias, and just like King and Zeng suggests, the two biases should be considered together. Garrett's model may suffer from omitted variable bias if it does not control for GDP, and GDP is related to spending and left labor power as well to trade and capital mobility. However, if Garrett controls for GDP, GDP may be post-treatment because left could also affect GDP. A lot of people would say that left governments may affect negatively GDP actually. And GDP here is taken as our wealth measure. It could be another construct actually.